Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad, and good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk, give me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
And he's here to talk for The Last Rodeo, a man who, you know what, he's been around my whole life. There's not a day that goes by that he's not referenced in my life. His name is Christopher McDonald. Christopher, how you doing, man?
Good, Brad. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. As you know, I get Shooter McGavin all the time due to my surname, and I'm sure that people bring up Happy Gilmore to you on a daily basis as well.
They do indeed, yeah. Especially if I'm walking the streets of New York or any big city, like Shooter. Gilmore's a good surname to have.
It's not bad. But you know what? We'll hit on that in a little bit. But what we're talking about is The Last Rodeo in theaters, this week. And this story, obviously, me being in Houston, I love the rodeo. Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, one of the biggest in the entire country, if not the world. And this story that Neil has really zeroed in on is just an impactful story. He said that y'all are great friends and collaborators. What drew you to this project?
Well, I was invited by our co-writer Neil McDonough and Reve, his wife, saying, "Come on and play this part." And I just cleared my schedule because I wanted to work with Neil for the longest time. We've been buddies for a long time, and it was a lovely part. And John Abnett was directing, who I love, and Michael T. Williamson and Sarah Jones, who I worked before. It was a no-brainer in that situation. And telling this story, which I didn't know that much about bull riding, even though I loved watching it as a kid and all this stuff, because these guys are crazy to get on that bull and just, hang on for dear life for 8 seconds. So I basically just dove into that whole idea, and we shot it out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and had a great time. And I strapped on my cowboy hat and my boots, and we went at it. And it's just a great story. Like you said, so much heart in this, because it's all about family. Family's forever. And if you have a little crisis in your family, you're going to do whatever means necessary to get it fixed. And that's what Neil's character does. So he does a great job in it. It's a really great movie, and I think people should get out there and check it out. It's in theaters this weekend, and it's opening weekend. We'd love to see some good people in the seats.
Well, and you know what? I'm definitely going to be one of them, and I'm going to recommend this movie to all my listeners and all my friends and compatriots, because what you hit on is so true. Is like everything else seems to matter so much less, or not at all, when there's something going on in that family unit. Like all the worries that you have of maybe your job or whatever might be going on, they all melt away instantaneously.
That's well said. Absolutely right, Brad. It's what we were on this planet for. We have been kids, and then when something like this happens, it's a life-threatening thing that happens to the kid. And boy, you do anything in your power to do it. So he goes up against these incredible odds, and they'll see what happens. It's a great story, and has a wonderful ending, and it's a good message to put out there, I think, in these crazy times we live in.
It definitely is a great message. And when you talk about bull riding, obviously, like I said, I've grown up watching the livestock show and rodeo my whole life. And it's something interesting because it's different from other sports. It's like everyone in the arena is rooting for that guy to get to the 8 seconds, and they want it so bad. It's almost it's almost like one of the few sports that brings everybody together rooting for one thing at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's really crazy about this? They got the toughest bulls. These are the top of the line bulls that they could find, and brought in these great riders. And it's just crazy. The bulls were winning for the first bit, and then he was like, well, we'll have to edit it this way. Because they're just impossible to stay on. And then once you get off, it's like you get your head stepped on. The danger level is off the hook. So that's what makes it so exciting, and that's why fans eat it up too, because anything can happen. And you root for your favorite rider. And they all got rubber bands for back, so they're just like, woo, they can all do it. And you get this old codger going on there, and like they love him because he was a big hit. He's a 3-time world champion, but not at 50. So it's a great story, and I'm so glad to be part of it.
The last rodeo, again, in theaters this weekend. I got to ask you about a couple things that are actually favorites of mine, and one thing maybe you can give me some clarity on, but one of them is I actually just watched it last night. I love, obviously the original with Robert De Niro, Midnight Run, but you did a series of these kind of Midnight Run films that I absolutely love, and some of them are on YouTube, and I watch them all the time. Did you enjoy those films, getting to play that iconic character, Jack Walsh?
What a blast that was. It's just so much fun. I was so glad to be asked to come and play it. You go in, you audition and stuff, and apparently I beat up some very big names at the time because I had the right kind of like De Niro, which I watched, but I didn't want to recreate what he did because his unique voice. So I just ran with what I thought would really be good for that character. Had a complete ride. Had different directors each time. Told 3 great stories. Was on something called the Universal Reel. So they do all this stuff. They did Hercules and did other stuff like that. And it was one of those things. I'm glad you told me it's on YouTube because now I can look it up. I haven't seen it in ages. But I had a blast doing it. They had great co-stars come in, and I wish it had gone on for a lot longer, actually.
Oh, I would love it if you did a reprise of that role. I would love to see more of those made. With all these streaming going on, I think there's a time for a return to Jack Walsh.
Your lips to God's ears. Let me work on that. That's a great idea.
You've done so much in your career. Obviously, we have Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, so I know the Shooter McGavin references are only going to go on further in my life. I think my brother one time saw you out at a restaurant somewhere in California and came with his driver's license. Like, look, I'm a Gilmore. Give me the Shooter thing. So it's definitely a big part of life. But I want to ask you this. I want to ask you this. Can you confirm or deny? Because you were in the 4th Beverly Hills Cop movie as a golfer. I remember watching the scene and going, wait a minute, what's going on here? Was that supposed to be Shooter McGavin, or how did that come about?
Came about because of the great casting director, Mary Renew, who I've worked with several times. She had this whole list of people, and it's Eddie Murphy. And I said, Eddie Murphy? Yeah, I'm in. I don't care what it is. I'm in. She said, yeah, you're a golfer. And I said, and it's not a big part. It's just a little cameo. And I went, I'm in. And it's just great. I just love him. I've always loved Eddie Murphy. And so that's what it was. It wasn't, and people have read a lot into it saying there was a tease for Happy Gilmore 2, but I say more power to it. That's all good because what happened, I happened to be on a motorcycle trip and I was talking to a radio store. Then I said, I think it's going to happen. But don't say that because I really don't want to get out there. Adam showed me his first page of the new script, and that's pretty exciting. Oh, no, we won't tell anybody. So they thanked me. It's like, you're a legend, blah, blah, blah. I hung up. They went, dude, we're calling CNN. We're calling Golf Digest. And it went viral. So I got my wrist slapped for that. So I just thought, okay, that's what it's all about. It's all about just getting it out there, and the internet will do its job, I guess. So, But that was a blast to do that scene with those guys and with the helicopter crashing down, and that was a really fun movie too. So Eddie still got it.
Oh, yeah, Eddie still got it. You know what? Maybe we could do an Axel F. Jack Walsh. That's really what the people want to see. Let's make that one happen. Netflix, Ted Sarandos, cut the check right now. We're talking, of course, The Last Rodeo, Christopher McDonald. You know, again, congratulations on this movie and your entire career. You have a fan in me for life. I've watched so much of your work over the years, so it's just a pleasure and an honor to spend a few minutes with you.
Back at you, Brad. Thank you, sir, for having me on.
Have a good one.